Alright everybody, welcome back to another Magic the Gathering tournament from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name is Zachary Evans, and joined today by Garrett Meadows, and we'll be bringing you coverage of the Dragon's Maze pre-release, the Sunday edition. Not that many people here today. There's a smooth 16 out there, which is a little bit, depending on your priority set, either really bad or really good. Obviously, you'd like to see more people out at the store, but there were 46 people here yesterday.
Right.
And like
it was $30.
It'd be 60 to play both, and then also, like we mentioned before, there is a lot of less interest in the third set of any block.
Right.
It's just inevitable. But regardless, we've got 16 players here, and I'd say about 10 of them are limited specialists. So we should have some good quality Magic for you. Well, let's talk about the matchup we've got for you in round one. On the left is Dave Snow. Dave is our, I would say, the most accomplished player that we have playing at the store. He recently topped 64 at a limited Grand Prix in Pittsburgh.
1,600 people with that one?
Yeah, give or take. And he's playing Naya. We saw him build his deck earlier in the day, during the deck building portion. He's playing a Boros deck, splashing green. His high end is Rurik Thar, and his low end features such goodies as Daring Skyjack, a couple of the 3/1 First Strike Flyers, as well as a Boros Reckoner and a Boros Charm. And then Drew Scherr is playing an Orzhov deck, splashing red. Don't know a whole lot more about it, but we'll see what he's got along the way. Yeah, this is going to be really rough with those guys.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So Dave on curve with the Centaur Healer. Of course, with Dragon's Maze, we are using some packs of cards from previous sets, so you're going to see a lot of old faithful cards from Return to Ravnica and Gatecrash.
Is that a Gutter Skulk from Drew?
Gutter Skulk, and then do you know what this guy is? Oh, that's the guy that I don't know what he is, but he's a 2/2 haste, and the turn he comes into play, he gets +2/+2.
Right.
So he's going to get in for 4 there.
Drop Dave to 19.
Drop Dave down to 19.
The iPad?
Oh, no. I'll kind of give it to him. But I have been paying attention, so I don't know.
I don't know why Drew swung in with the Gutter Skulk there. He was tapped out. Really not a good attack with the Gutter Skulk there. Gunnar just got 4 free points of damage in.
We got, don't worry, we got Michael Taylor out there on the table judge. What'd I miss?
He attacked with the 4/4 and the Gutter Skull for some reason.
Just sacking in the Gutter Skull. Oh, I thought you were saying why is he playing the Gutter Skull, and I said I don't know. But why he's attacking it, I don't know as well. So that is the Rebel Belt Maka. It's a 3/3, but he can Blood Rush it for 1.
Lightning Bolt it?
Yep. Just playing it as a dude. I really like the flexibility of these Blood Rush cards, as we see another 4/4 haste guy. And you'll have to forgive us, neither of us played in the pre-release yesterday, and while we are familiar with what a lot of the cards do, there's going to be a lot of, that's the 3/1 guy, that's the 2/2 pro-black dude.
And there's going to be a lot of, what does that card do?
But it's better than nothing, right? So Drew's going to chump out here, the Centaur Healer, take 3, knocking him down to 14.
Drew being very generous giving those cards away.
Mm-hmm. And then we see the
3/1 First Strike.
Yeah. Is it called Skymark Rock? Is that right?
Okay.
I don't know if it is or not, but it's a 3/1 flying First Striker. So Dave's curve here has been pretty awesome. Short of taking that hit from that 4/4 guy, I don't really think this could have gone any better for Dave.
Well, the worst thing to do is to play the 2/2 guy that bumps to a 4/4 with no follow-up play.
Yeah. I don't know what that card is. Do you know what that is?
No, I do not. I will look it up.
Okay.
I'm on it, team.
Well, it's some kind of removal spell, I imagine. Well,
it cost 5 mana.
Yep. And I don't know what it was, but Dave...
Punish the enemy. Deals 3 damage to target player and 3 damage to target creature.
Well, Dave Snow, like the boss that he is, countered it by casting Martial Glory and giving his creature plus three, plus getting the +3 on the power side of it, knocking Drew all the way down to 5.
And we see the
Is it Obsidat?
Keystone.
Did Drew just draw an Obsidat?
That's an Obsidat.
Yeah, I guarantee you that's what that card is. I mean, it's not good enough here, but like, isn't that the best card you can have in this limited format?
That is so hard to get too, because you get one pack.
Mm-hmm. There's one pack in your that can contain that. Is it a rare or a mythic?
It's a mythic.
We're still going to lose there, but it's going to. Is it my boy Rurkthar? Oh no, this is the. I don't know what that card is either, but when they attack, they all get +1/+1 counters. Yeah.
There was kind of a cycle. I think there's like 3 enchantments that, whenever this creature attacks or whenever this creature blocks or something like that, it gets +1/+1.
Can we just make it so that every round we just watch Dave Snow play whoever Dave Snow plays?
Yeah.
That's probably a better tournament, right? Because his deck is really solid.
There's like an Edric enchant, Edric Spymaster.
Oh, the same effect as
1 blue-green, whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter deals damage, you get to draw a card.
Well, we'll go ahead and take this. I know it's not our regular F&M broadcast, but we'll take the same break like we do every week and take this opportunity to thank the fine folks here at Lost Legion Games and Comics for letting us stream not just this event and our weekly Friday Night Magic tournaments, but all the things that we do here at the store. I've mentioned it before. It is well, it does benefit the store. Obviously, it is somewhat inconvenient for them to let us set up all the equipment and rearrange tables and things like that. So we appreciate their generosity. If you're ever in the West Virginia area, they got 4 locations in Princeton, Beckley, South Charleston, and Parkersburg. If you're ever driving through the area on business or pleasure, make sure to stop by and support the stores that support the stream. And if you're watching now on Twitch, make sure to click the follow button, which is above and to the left on the old layout and below and to the left on the new layout. And they'll send you an email anytime our stream goes live. This is where, having clicked that follow button, you really get the benefit. Because, I mean, it's Sunday at 1 o'clock. There's no magic from Lost Legion, right? No. That's when you get the email, and you're like, well, I got to drop everything I'm doing. Got to rush to the computer. And,
was changing my baby's diaper, but
I was holding my baby. I had to drop it. I want to confirm, we do not recommend dropping one's child. But beyond that, literally everything beyond that, we're fine with.
Have you watched the GPs and the Star City things broadcast from conventions? Whenever there's like role-playing and all this stuff going on in the background.
Oh, I have seen...
Announcers.
Yeah, I have seen...
Don't forget to sign up for the zombie run here in 5 minutes.
I do like it when they have those, because there'll just be some guy in cosplay just show up in the background. Just like, you see the one I posted on the Facebook page of the guy that was dressed like Mr. Monopoly?
Yes.
He's just watching some Legacy match.
He showed up 2 days in a row too. This is what we have going on here. What's the comparison I make? You will just hear some wizard shout out in the background every now and then.
So Drew casts on-curve Basilicus creature, right? Which is the 1/2 flying extort guy.
Yeah,
and then follows up with Transguild Promenade.
So he has perfect mana now.
Yeah, Promenade's really good in this format. I mean, there's so much value in splashing a 3rd, maybe 4th color that just having the ability to fix like that. And the format is much slower. With the addition of Dragon's Maze, like these Boros and Orzhov, like super aggressive beatdown decks, as we see in on-curve Centaur Healer from Dave. Like, you can afford that like 2nd turn tempo loss of not playing a 2-drop and paying for your Promenade, just for the ability to cast at will later in the game. So I'm going to cast a Basilica Guard and Extort.
That's going to stop the Centaur Healer. Dave missing red mana right now.
Can't have it all.
Or he also could be sandbagging.
We see what's that new card called? The, turn all your creatures into...
Dragons?
No. It's the Whirling Dervish card, I call it, but all your guys get +1 when they attack. The counters. I think he's just stuck on mana, period. Looks like he's just getting old school mana screwed.
3-land Centaur Healer is hard to pass down. Especially whenever your opponent didn't present anything last game except for Object that can deal with 3-3.
All you can do is keep the hand that seems capable. What happens off the top of your deck is... So he's going to offer in here, obviously representing a trick. If he didn't have a trick, that's just like the greatest thing in the world, where you just attack past your defender. Drew can't. To be fair, Drew can't afford to block there because
No,
that the extort is so important in this matchup.
He has double extort. Taking 3 damage here is not going to be the end of the world.
Keystone and double extort. Like this is brutal for Dave. Death by 1,000 cuts. Drew's all the way back up to 20 now. And after the Screecher attacks, Dave down to 17.
I wasn't joking.
Did you hear that? Someone has the finest wares in old Kadira out there, so... So Dave does not find a 4th land, but does come up with a daring Skyjack. Of course, without...
Is that a Boris key wrench, and now he can cast off to that? He has it? Can't believe you pulled out opposite that. This might be the only sealed pool that had an opposite that in America.
It's also interesting because there's multiple RPGs. There's like 3 different groups out there,
right?
And they're going to be loud as it is, but they're all competing with each other for airspace.
Right. Well, only one has the finest wares in all of them.
Kadira, I believe, is what he said. Do you know what that card is? Is that the regenerate guy?
To the looking up of cards.
I think it's like a Blood Rush card that has regenerate for 3. That guy's gonna be so funny. Like I said, I apologize for those of you who are watching now and watching on YouTube after the fact. There's a considerable background noise today because of the
Carnage Gladiator.
What's the stats on it?
Whenever a creature blocks, its controller loses 1 life and 3 mana to regenerate.
Okay. So Dave puts the, I forget what it's called exactly, something courage, unwavering courage. It's effectively Armadillo Cloak.
In this situation, it's Armadillo Cloak.
So he now has a 5/5 life-linking, trampling dude.
Troy King rooting for Drew.
Troy King making an appearance in the chat.
Like a true hometown hero he is.
It's getting close to the end of the school year. Troy should be back, I would think. And this guy is that a Slate Street? That's just like a 2/1 guy, isn't it?
That is the 3 mana 1/3 with a wall of flavor text. He has no rules text on him. That is just a wall of flavor text.
I guess it's fine for an extort spell, but like I'm really afraid that unwavering courage card is going to be just another like Invisible Stalker Butcher's Cleaver type thing.
Yeah, it is.
Where it's just like I have this card.
It is.
If you don't have the like 3 removal spells you need.
It's just like Gift of Orzhov was in Gate Crash. 3 mana +1/+1 flying lifelink.
Dave just has to discarding the green maze beast or whatever it is. 5/4 trampler. That would give his multicolored creatures trample.
Fortunately for him, his multicolored creature does have trample.
Cast another Clue Stone. Extort twice. So Drew's just going to hope that he draws a spell every turn. And it's still not going to be good enough. He needs
some kind of removal.
He has to burn
or at least a bounce of some sort.
And there's Dave's 4th land, but still no red mana.
We saw last game that Drew's removal was the 3 damage spell, which is not going to kill the Centaur Healer.
Dave does have Boros Charm in his hand. If he ever gets a red mana, like the game is effectively over, I can imagine, because the one removal spell that Drew draws is going to get countered by the indestructibility in the Boros Charm. But Drew has put enough power on the board. Well, he does just keep playing spells.
There's the 2/2. It becomes a 4/4 with double extort.
He's going to serve in with the 4/4.
Dave just has to block with the 5/5 here, right?
I mean, I don't know. There can be arguments made for no blocks, because you don't want to lose your cloaked guy. And the next turn he can attack with Battalion and get a Skyjack flying and get in for $1 billion.
Well, he won't do that because he has the Basilicus creature back.
But I don't know. I'd probably trade my Skyjack for an extort guy. I would do it now too. Now that I can indestructible.
Oh yeah, he has Boros Charm in hand.
So his flyer there is the 2/3. I don't know what it's called, but it's the 2/3 flyer. A 3/1 Daring Skyjack and a Centaur healer with Unwavering Courage on it.
Sounds Fire Griffin.
Making it a 5/5 Trampling Life Linker.
This board starts bogging down, and Drew has to be a little bit concerned because Dave is now getting mana whenever he had all these cards in his hand for a long time.
So Drew offering up some blocks. He's going to chump the Trampler. Let them sort out their damage here.
So Drew loses 2 from.
He's going to take 2 damage on the trample.
Oh no, he loses 2 from blocking.
Oh, that's a symmetric effect?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So is it Rebel Belt something? Is that what that guy was called? You said?
Yeah.
So anytime anybody blocks, they lose. Dave's going to gain 5, and then post combat we're going to Executioner Swing. That does get around Boros Charm.
Yep.
Unless he can pump it. He needs a pump effect.
Well, he does have Martial Glory. I don't know if he has it in his hand.
Yep.
What a blowout.
Yeah. So it's going to be a +3. It's going to be a 3/3 then. So it will still kill, but there will be no trample damage, right?
This was after damage. You can only cast Executioner Swing on a creature that dealt damage.
Okay. So they just shortcutted there a little bit.
Right. Whenever Drew counts to 8 mana, it's not good.
And that is made, I don't know what it was called, but it's the Black Maze dude from that cycle. It's a 3/3
multicolored creatures death touch.
Yeah, it's a 3/3 death touch that gives all your creatures death touch.
So now he has 3 death touch creatures.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to deal with the Centaur healer.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Dave still is representing Boros Charm here. He's going to serve in for 2 with his flyer.
And this is what Dave's deck wants to do.
Just grind out until the end game and win in the air.
Yep.
Dave said it earlier when we talked about it. Talked to him about his deck in the deck building portion, but his deck plays a lot like a blue light flyers deck that you might remember from core set sealed and draft. Just enough early game to get to the mid and late game and then win in the air. So Drew draws a land off the top, passes back to Dave with no action. I believe Dave has that, I think he's just going to play that enchantment here and get in for 7, right?
Is it whenever they, yeah, it's whenever they attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a good play, and then just leave them lethal next turn.
Mm-hmm. Using the new stream dice. Look how easy those are to view.
It's actually kind of hard to be on a white card.
Come on, Gary.
Just kidding.
But yeah, Dave's in a pretty good spot here because he's dead on board. Those 2 flyers.
This is actually exactly what Dave's deck wants to do: play flyers and that enchantment.
And Drew is down to,
Sacking clue stones.
Draws a swamp off the top. And that is the universal symbol of, I think I'm done with this one.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm just counting them up. So we see, what is that thing? Something of the something. Any idea?
Nope.
To the looker-upper.
I'm a looker-upper.
I think it's black-white.
I know as I'm looking this up, someone in the chat is saying it.
There it is. Maw of the opposite. Sacrifice a creature to control, get +1/+1, and it's a 3/3.
Yep.
So in the meantime, Drew is lining up an attack here. He's got a 2/2, a 3/3, another 3/3. They all have Death Touch. Dave's going to gain some life off of I'm not sure if Dave missed the Death Touch ability from the Maze, whatever that is, Maze Abomination.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, he just wins, right?
He does.
4 and 5 is 9 exactly, right? And he has a Boros Charm in hand for the backups. And that's it. So, as expected with... once Dave found the lands he needed, that was enough to put him over the top. So the Naya deck, the Orzhov Splashing Green deck of Dave Snow, takes our first feature match of the night.
Of the afternoon.
Of the evening, of the early afternoon. Max was supposed to be here at some point today, dropping by. That was the thing I missed. I was upset the most about missing yesterday, was all these sweet trades, because people come out of the woodwork for pre-release. It's people that you never see. Is there a question about rules in the chat?
Yep, the Death Touch Sword.
That's the static ability. Yep. The only thing that was triggered in that one was that haste guy, which I can.
It's +2/+2. All right, do you want me to go find another match?
I don't know. We can go. Might be tough. We can check. You want to go do that? Or do you want me to? Do you want to talk or do you want to walk? I'll let you choose. If people don't want to move, it's no big deal. Like, we can just wait.
Sure.
So Garrett's going to step outside. I know this is not part of our regularly scheduled programming, but if you guys want to, if you're enjoying what you're watching, I can't find it. I don't know where my thing is. I've lost, well, I'm falling apart here. Don't know where my graphics went to. Garrett's going to step outside. We got about 20 minutes left in the round. We're going to see if we can find another match to move under the camera for you. I would not be surprised if that doesn't happen. So, yeah. Are they almost done?
I don't know. There was one game where Brett's about to wrap up and win, and then the other game was Ruth in the end.
Okay, that's fine. When you only have 8 to choose from, that's going to happen a lot.
Right.
So no big deal there. Do want to remind everyone that if this is the first time you're ever watching, which if there's only 25 people watching, I find that very hard to believe that you just stumbled upon this today. But if this is your first time watching and you enjoy especially limited environment with the new Dragon Maze set, make sure to follow us on Twitch and then come back on Friday. If you are not participating in your own launch party drafts, we will be drafting here for F&M. We do a weekly F&M stream. It's almost entirely standard, but the week of the release we always do draft pods. So if you want to watch some more Dragon's Maze Limited, make sure you're here on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And Garrett will be here, and then also if you're going to be participating in your own F&M, obviously you're not going to be able to watch live, but you can go over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ZachSellsMagic. Same spelling as you see on the Twitch page. Everything that we record live is archived on our YouTube account, which recently exceeded 1,000 subscribers.
Who was the 1,000 subscribers?
Babyface Girl 98.
Which is a 40-year-old man.
Probably. I can only assume that, because as we all know, the 15-year-old girl demographic is really who. I can only imagine of the 1,000 viewers, roughly 800 of them are 15-year-old girls.
Yep.
That's who we really speak to.
That's what I am.
So guys, like I said, we're in between rounds here. Stick around. We will have another round of action shortly. While there is a significant amount of time left in the round, there's only 2 matches left, as Garrett said. One that's almost done now, and one that should be done relatively shortly. So let's talk about this a little bit, Garrett. Obviously, we're seeing these new cards make an appearance both in yesterday's pre-release and tonight. We're going to see them again at drafts on Friday. That's limited.
Right.
Let's talk about, since you're a standard guy, that's your main format. What cards are you looking at from the new set as being not necessarily cards that maybe you'll slot into your decks, but what cards do you think will make a big splash in standard in general?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Rouse Eric.
The new Planeswalker is really good. I don't think that's too much of a hedge there. I think you're probably fine in assuming that guy.
I mean, there are... Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
This guy is very strong. This guy is free lightning bolts. There's what are the 4-cost Planeswalkers that are seeing play right now? None? There's Liliana, right? Nobody's playing it.
There's Liliana, there's Domri. Some people are playing Jason Emery.
But I mean, people are playing Tameo, people playing Vraska. The mana cost shouldn't be an issue. The fact that it's not even until right now I didn't realize that it was hybrid mana. I'm gonna be honest with you. So
I don't think it is. I think that's fake.
Oh, this is the fake one.
Yeah.
Damn it. Oh, that is the fake one. My bad. I need to delete that. I don't know if I have the real one. I don't think I do, but...
I mean, if we want to talk about real cards that I think are going to be played, the split card that is Threaten.
Oh, Catch and Release.
Yeah, 1 blue-red Threaten permanent.
This card is amazing.
Yeah, I think that is going to be one of the big splashes.
Well, especially in an archetype like American Flash that's already well-defined. This card is perfect in that. Maybe just as a one-of in the main deck. Maybe you don't even play it in the main deck, you just splash it. But against certain decks, this card is amazing. I can't imagine you not wanting to play this, at least with a copy in your main deck. And as I've talked about multiple times on the stream, this card in Modern, and the blue-white-red deck in Modern is real as well. There's the aggro, there's the same kind of thing like you see in Standard with Geist and Snapcasters and Angels and Tempo. But then there's also that Splinter Twin deck that basically plays value guys, and it has the Splinter Twin, the C-Rex combo as well. This card is perfect in that archetype as it is. But all I ever want to do in Modern is wait until somebody casts a Red-Green Tron, casts a turn 4 Karn, and then just untap, steal Karn, make him blow himself up. That's all I want to do.
Right.
I do it in Cube with the Zealous Conscripts, but that costs 5.
I mean, there's no matchup where that card's going to be bad.
It's never dead. And a lot of people gave us a lot of grief when we were discussing this card on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, as we were discussing spoiler season, saying release, it's a little bit off thematics, it's weird with a white and red card, it's too expensive. Who cares? Who literally cares about that side of the card? You're playing catch, and then 1 out of every 30 games, release is going to be functional, and then you can play it. But that's what's amazing about these split cards. If you've never played with split cards before, the amount of flexibility that you get off them is just amazing. I mean, you're literally playing 2 cards at once, and now these cards with Fuse allow you to do both. But Release is very functional in the sense that it's Planeswalker.
Yeah, so it kills Planeswalkers. It kills a pesky artifact or something.
Or an enchantment gets rid of something that's relatively hard to answer, and you're not sacrificing any kind of power in your main deck by playing a very specific answer card. You're playing Catch, which is a great tempo card, which goes perfectly with your game plan as it is, and then you're occasionally casting this answer off the side.
Right.
So, I agree. I think that's going to see play in both Modern and Standard.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of if there's a legacy archetype where that would work. I don't know. You can steal a Jason Ultimate it. That's what's the big thing is you steal a planeswalker and then you ultimate it. But there's so many other instances where just threatening a guy is good. So
Cards are going to be slotted into existing archetypes. There's a black-green card that you reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put them in your graveyard, and target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for the number of creature cards that you put in your graveyard this way. So I think that's going to maybe take a spot of mulch or two in the reanimated decks.
in the junk, in the deck that wants to mill itself. Yeah. Seems fine. I think there's some creatures that might make an appearance. I think Rurk-Thar might show up as a high end of some of the red-green mid-range decks you might see.
I think it's going to define a new archetype.
I think
the red-green deck is going to come back. Like you play Farseek, Dire Sage. You have your sweepers. You might even be able to play something like Clan Defiance now. And your top end is Thunder Mohawkite and
Rurk-Thar. I agree. I think that card is. I think people are highly underrating that card. Another card that's underrated, I think, we talked about before, is Sire of Insanity.
Oh, that's in that card.
Is that the 6/4 discard your hand thing? That card's amazing. Like, Sphinx's Revelation is useless against that card. And here's more importantly, Sphinx's Revelation decks, that's what you're playing it against.
Yes.
And Sphinx's Revelation decks do not necessarily have an answer to that card immediately.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, they leave a lot of mana open, but if it resolves, there's not a lot of instant speed removal. You can't burn that card out.
At that point, you have to top deck Amazian Mortars to cast on your turn, or be playing something like the 4-mana Lightning Helix. It was just printed.
I don't even think that card's playable. But Mortars and Mortars is like that means you can start drawing cards again. But you've already had to pitch your hand,
right.
Because it's at the end of every end step. So obviously this can be played in these more aggressive decks, or possibly a Jund deck in the side, or just as a 1 or 2 of as a top end. But your deck is fine with the card disadvantage.
Right.
It's the Sphinx's Revelation decks that you just want them.
I mean, there is an out for Sphinx's Revelations deck. You can, after the trigger resolves, still in the end step, think twice, draw Sphinx's Revelation, tap out, draw 4 cards, and then on your turn you get to have 4 cards in your hand.
Yep. That's the way to beat it.
That is the exact way to beat it.
Or you're just going to have to start playing cards like, Rapid Hybridization, or something like that.
There is the
Unsummon would work too.
The blue-red split card, which is also going to see a lot of play. Target creature becomes 0/1 and loses all abilities to end a turn, and then deals 2 damage to target creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never. There's been a lot of cards where that over the years where people have said you have to answer this immediately. It's a must-answer threat. Right. And I'm trying to think of one that's more must-answer than the guy that makes you discard your entire hand.
Right.
So I think that guy's going to see a lot of play. I think it's actually started going up in price since it's pre-release.
And you can even curve into it by casting Slaughter Games to name whatever counterspell or removal that they would have for it. So you can just set up this card that wins you the game on the spot.
So the good in all formats Jund deck continues to be good in all formats and have answers to everything. So I think that would be very interesting.
It's a sideboard card. I don't think it's a main deck.
You might play one of them. I think it might be a sideboard card too. Well, you might play one of them because you're so off in that matchup anyway. It might be worth kind of pre-boarding, but yeah, you don't want to get mono red. You know what I mean? You don't want to get
whatever. It's turn 5, turn 6, and you're dropping this guy, and your opponent doesn't have anything in their hand anyway.
But if you're playing Liliana anyway, you can just get rid of it. So you just pitch it for value, right? You don't care.
That is the best part of it. It discards the Liliana.
It is very good at being a card.
We talked about Wild Guess in the N13 Sealed last night, and I said the best part about Wild Guess is it discards to Wild Guess.
Yeah. Wild Guess is actually pretty good in M13 Sealed, just in giving that archetype that doesn't have card draw the ability to draw cards, but and especially late in the game when you just pitch a land and draw 2 cards. It's like a perfectly fine divination. It's pretty good in Modern if you discard Emrakul and then Gorya's Vengeance it back.
Yeah.
You can just Faithless Looting is better, but you gotta have multiple copies of things. So, I guess we're still waiting for the next round. Is there any other cards?
There was still the Ruth v. Straggy matchup, and I don't know if that was going long or not, but I just didn't feel like putting the Undertaker would be good for Ruth.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any problems with that. I want this card to be good, and I think it We talked about this a little bit during the FNM
The
stream.
enchant, at that point in the game, I don't think it's going to be constructed playable. Like the fact that you have to put 2 cards in your graveyard whenever you do it, like, removes any type of
You can't set it up. Yeah.
you'd be able to do. So
I agree. I'm not saying it's a sure thing by any means, but
it could show up as like a
like,
one-of in a Junk Reanimator deck or something.
I would see.
Maybe in Bug Control where you play Snapcasters. It could be a thing, but
Someone in the chat is saying that Phyto Burst might be a new tech for Modern Infect. What's Phyto Burst do? Do you have any idea?
nope. Not on the out cards.
Probably green. Technical difficulties.
Getting there, guys.
There we go.
Target creature gets +5/+5 to understand.
Yeah, it's a sorcery. I remember that card, but I didn't. At first, I was like, well, so this is just strictly better than Titanic Growth, and it's a sorcery.
Right.
So it might not be. The thing with Modern Infect is that you don't really care if the card. You want the creature at best to get up to like 5/5.
Right.
Because there's a very marginal difference between 5/5 and anything bigger, unless it's 10. There's 2 turns versus 1 turn. Sorcery speed is such a blowout, though. I can't imagine that's where you want to go with that, but I don't know. We'll see. We were talking with earlier, you remember when we had the spoilers out, that I was really excited about Advent of the Worm, which is the 4-mana instant 5/5 make a 5/5 trampler card. Well, Dave Snow said that he's excited about that, and that's where he's willing to go in the new standard. So I just operate on the assumption that Dave Snow is right, because he just is. So I feel a little bit vindicated in that. Thanks, JB.
You're welcome.
Yeah, along the same lines as why that +5/+5 is bad. Like, you have to play around your opponent's open mana in a lot of situations.
Not just counter spells.
Advent of the Worm does that.
Yeah, you can play around the counter spell, and then you can get blown out by the dude. yeah. I don't know. I just live in a world where I want to Snapcaster it back, and Dave Snow said, screw it, I just want to play the card.
Right.
So I think it's one of those cards like I use a lot where it's just gravy. Like, the card's good enough by itself if you get any extra value off of it. All right, well, we're about to get a feature match here with Ian and Brett, probably.